You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for No Thank You, who says, rant about the video Hidamari sketch bath scene in-depth analysis, which is by No Thank You, on a channel that is No Thank You spelled backwards. There's no way to pronounce it that I can think of. This is a 22-minute video, and I thought it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it. I'm a huge fan of Hidamari's sketch, and this is a really in-depth analysis of some of the central themes of the series through at least one lens, one way of looking at it, and I think there are plenty of ways of looking at the show because just a great show with lots that could be said about it, and not nearly enough has been. I certainly haven't said enough about it since I have not rewatched it or completed it since getting into YouTube. Mostly because of its lack of relevance and daunting length. But that's the reason I haven't tackled tons and tons of shows that I know I should cover. So, But Hidamari Sketch has long been one of my favorites, so it's nice to hear people talk about it and actually go in depth. And, this video, the clickbait title is that it's about the bath scenes. And it does analyze the bath scenes of Yuno being in the bath as one component of a huge picture of how Hidamari Sketch presents life as art. That life itself is a constant expression of art, and that the show is constantly transforming, to represent the different artistic ways that that life can feel and be presented, I guess. Presenting moments as though they were art pieces. And successfully. So where, every scene of that show is pleasant to look at and watch because it's all interpreted with a heightened emotion. Even if it's just as simple as a plain color background with 3 dots, what color choice is made, where those dots are pointing. Is the character silent as they're thinking about something, or is it representing dead air in the room? Like, it can be used to add atmosphere in so many ways. So every single frame is treated with that, and I'm actually going in a different. This isn't even covered in this video. This is me kind of extrapolating off of what he said, but yeah. That's the nature of the show. It wants to present the idea that art is life, and he goes in depth about that throughout this video, but the biggest chunk of him really going into the meat of using examples from the show, how it comments on this through both its humor and its broader, more story driven moments. He talks about that in the last part of this video, where it's just a shot of a fan spinning as he goes on and on. The whole video is experimentally shot and incorporates analysis of totally different stuff that has nothing ostensibly to do with the central point about Hidamari's sketch. I'm going to click through real quick to remind myself exactly what. He starts off talking about a random seasonal comedy anime from, I think, recent years that I didn't even know about, but it's a parody, a 3D animated show where in the OP they are describing literally what is being shown on screen. The lyrics of the song are describing that, which reminded me of something I did with the Astro Score OP. I did not ever get to widely release it, but it was in my Patreon archive or something, or released in the text, the description of one of the episodes of the show or something like that. But it was where I took the OP and rewrote the lyrics to just be describing the structure of a generic OP and how this song follows that structure to a T. But yeah, so that was fun. And then he talks about Good Fairies for a little bit, and I think he mentions not having really watched much of the show and seems to assume that it's more family friendly than the other show that he was talking about. But Good Fairies is it has a lot of sexual undertones. The ED is all of them as sexy fairy girls doing a like a 90s girl band dance essentially, and like the humor can be a little bit, I don't know. I don't think kids would understand even a lot of the jokes in the show. Like it's very meta, and but yeah, I love that show. I've watched most of. I think I've watched like half of both seasons or something like that. Something stupid. Um, but it's a very fun show. It gets even better the more of it you watch because they really kind of you feel like they hit their stride of really understanding what they're trying to do with the improv in the show. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad somebody's addressing the way that these 3D improv shows really utilize 3D to do something that can't really be done in 2D animation, and it's really can be done well. I mean, I've watched a bunch of shows by that guy. Not all of them are done this well, and there are some people who have like tried to copy it and just done it very poorly. And you can see some of like the worst rated shows on Mal are like those ones where people who already wouldn't rate these shows highly because they probably wouldn't get them, when they see those ones, they're just like, this is absolute garbage. And I've seen a few like that, but even the other stuff by this guy, that was the one about the robots, straight title, and that one was not nearly as consistently funny as Good Good Fairies. It was way more repetitive. It had a weird, interesting setting and like central concept. It just wasn't funny. I did not laugh watching Straight Title. I laughed a lot watching Good Good Fairies. So I'm just saying the formula doesn't automatically work. I think that the context of Good Good Fairies also contributed to why it was funny. But there's also analysis of this guy in this video that we're talking about, this no thank you video. There's this one dude who does these like basically wrestling videos of him just getting injured, like him doing like wrestling stunts in his backyard, and just like it doesn't look like he's getting severely hurt. He's basically doing something a wrestler would do, but he's like breaking himself through pieces of furniture and shit, like pieces of his backyard. It looks really intense, and these videos, I've seen them circulating. I've seen people just posting this guy's videos, being like, "Yeah, this is sick," about some of the stuff he's done. But as No Thank You points out in this video, they're very well shot because the guy really finds like the perfect angles to and like you know, use of the rule of thirds and just whatever, like however he can dramatically frame the stuff that happens to be in his backyard to look good. And I mean, he's shooting these videos at sunset because they're one take, so like you can just get the best lighting in one shot and go for it, with a really great and he shoots them in iPhone style, so it feels very like gritty and real, but like the shot composition is good. So that's why he goes in depth analyzing that, which is interesting. I enjoyed that. All of this is in a video about hidamari sketch bath scenes, supposedly. I also forgot to mention that during several of these scenes, No Thank You is just blasting Shinsei Kamate-chan music in the background. Great song choices, both two of my favorite Shinsei Kamate-chan songs, for sure. Anytime that he's just talking into a camera, the camera is just in some strange position. He seems to be drinking beer throughout the video and just like being ready to throw down. He's got lots of attitude, lots of charisma, even though he never shows any of himself on screen at all. He's got a thick British accent. Literally could not tell if he is a white or black guy. Can't tell at all. But yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it. Good video. You should check it out too.